This is the story of King Victor and his wife, Queen Isolde. King Victor was a righteous and devout ruler, while Queen Isolde was renowned for her extraordinary beauty and virtue. Their life was serene until fate brought them to a great trial. In the celestial realm, there arose a disagreement between Saturnus, the god of time and misfortune, and Fortuna, the goddess of wealth and prosperity. Saturnus claimed superiority, while Fortuna believed herself greater. Unable to resolve the argument, they decided to seek the wisdom of the most honest man on earth, King Victor of Avalon. When Saturnus and Fortuna approached King Victor and sought his judgment, he felt deeply troubled. Favoring one deity would inevitably anger the other. To buy time, he requested a month to decide. The deities agreed and departed, promising to return for his verdict. The king's sleepless nights caught the attention of Queen Isolde. Upon learning of his plight, she devised a plan. She suggested preparing 2 thrones, one golden throne on the king's right and one silver throne on his left. When the deities returned, Fortuna, representing wealth, would naturally sit on the golden throne, while Saturnus would take the silver throne. Victor was to remain silent when asked for his decision, simply stating that they had already resolved the matter themselves. When the deities returned, everything unfolded as Isolde predicted. Fortuna chose the golden throne, and Saturnus took the silver one. When pressed for a decision, Victor repeated his wife's clever response. Saturnus departed in anger, but Fortuna assured the king that, although challenges lay ahead, her blessings would remain with him. Soon Saturnus unleashed his wrath, causing a terrible famine in Avalon. Unable to bear the suffering of his people, King Victor abdicated his throne and left with Queen Isolde, carrying a bundle of jewels for emergencies. A violent storm forced them to pause at a riverbank. Disguised as a young girl, Fortuna appeared with a lantern and guided them to safety. At the river, an elderly ferryman offered to take them across one by one. He ferried Queen Isolde first, then King Victor, but vanished with their jewels. The king realized the ferryman was Saturnus, testing them again. Left penniless, the couple sought refuge in a village, surviving by cutting and selling fragrant wood. By Fortuna's grace, their fortunes soon flourished. Saturnus, not to be outdone, concocted another challenge. A merchant's ship became stuck near the village, and Saturnus, disguised as a sage, told the merchant that only the touch of a virtuous woman could free it. When invited to the feast, Queen Isolde initially declined, as King Victor was away. Realizing her virtue, the merchant convinced her to touch the ship, which immediately began to move. Overwhelmed by her beauty, the merchant abducted her. To protect her chastity, Queen Isolde prayed to Solus, the god of the sun, to afflict her with leprosy, rendering her undesirable. Meanwhile, King Victor wandered, searching for his wife. He found refuge in a monastery, where he served by tending cattle and making clay bricks. By Fortuna's blessing, the bricks turned to gold, enabling him to rebuild his fortune. Years later, the merchant's ship returned, with Queen Isolde aboard. Recognizing the merchant, King Victor tricked him into giving passage by offering golden bricks. Once aboard, the merchant tried to kill Victor, but Isolde thwarted his plan, saving her husband. The couple eventually reached a distant kingdom. Disguised as a gardener, Victor earned the admiration of the princess, leading to their marriage. Years passed, and Saturnus's curse began to fade. When the merchant's ship returned again, King Victor accused him of theft. Saturnus appeared, exposing the merchant's crimes. The deceitful merchant was punished, and Saturnus commended Victor for his steadfastness and honesty. Fortuna blessed Victor and Isolde, restoring their health, kingdom, and prosperity. This tale reminds us that no matter how grave the trials, unwavering truth and righteousness ultimately lead to triumph with divine support.